Sal, you hate this. It's Super Bowl week. It's supposed to be all NFL. And then the NBA holes come flying in with the most shocking trade in NBA history. And now you gotta like take a seat on the side.
I know, a seat on the side. Disgusting that this is the most important sports podcast you're going to do all year. And how many minutes of NBA wholeness did you?
I know, it's a double pod this weekend. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but you put the Luka stuff before me, didn't you?
Yeah,
I know
you did. You're like the second guest.
Son of a bitch.
But we're still going. We're still doing our thing. It's just, Luka
Congratulations.
got traded.
Your league is back. You could go back to 17-minute quarters and 100 games in the regular season.
True.
It's good.
We kept 12-minute quarters. We're good now.
That's what happened. Silver's like, hey, man, we got to, we're thinking of changing the size of the court and how much time is in each quarter. Can we just do something to make Boston, New York, and LA great over the next 3 years? Come on, Dallas. Can you step up here?
Yeah, what if we put Luka and LeBron on the same team? Will anyone complain about the ratings again?
The good news is, though, I will say your trade machine and trade thoughts, which I thought a lot of times were nonsense, like when week 7, when we had to do 10 minutes on Giannis to the Nets. And I was like, okay, good. But now people should listen to you because nothing is too ludicrous. There's not one trade that could be too crazy to pass muster here.
It really is true. Like now at this point, the only person I would refuse to believe got traded is Wemby.
Yeah.
I think everyone else in the league, you could talk me into a trade in a ridiculous scenario involving any player. Yep. Super Bowl, Chiefs, Eagles. We've had a week to either think about it or not think about it. There are a ton of props. Fando has amazing pages and pages of great stuff, great links. We're going to have Ringer specials on there later. Ringer Sunday pregame is going to have some stuff. We're good. Do you have a feel for the Super Bowl yet? And has it affected your Super Bowl props? The things that you think will happen in the game, are you steering that way already?
Yes, I think so. I think you and I will give our official picks for who's going to win towards the end of the week. I did notice that I don't need 2 weeks. I don't. Let's get to the part where I'm depressed already. Like, I don't have to be depressed about being depressed, right? So I don't like this extra week in between. It makes me... Analysis leads to paralysis. There's like a lot of ways to determine how old we are. Like, Babe Ruth won the home run title closer to when we were born than today, and that sucks. And
is that
you
true?
And I'll send something. Oh, yeah.
Is that true?
Three's company premiered 48 years ago. It all sucks. But I was thinking today, I was like, we at most have 30 more Super Bowls left if we're lucky. Like, I take care of myself. You don't, you're going to start doing cocaine when you're 60, so that's a problem.
I'm nuts, yeah.
But there's going to be 1,000 more Super Bowls, and we're only going to see 30. That's disgusting to me. That really made me feel sick. So join in that.
I think about that all the time. How when I'm finally dead, how mad I'm going to be. Not just that I'm dead, but I'm not going to know what's going to happen for the next 25 Super Bowls, NBA. It's like, oh, shit.
Comment.
Yeah. My lean is close game. I have 2 leans so far, and I'm still debating where to go with the game, and probably will decide on Tuesday. But it feels like the line is off, and it feels like it's going to be a close game. Those are my 2 leans. I actually think the Eagles should be favored the more I stare at this. Yeah, and I don't know what the Mahomes tax is at this point, but it feels like it's a field goal.
Right.
At least.
Can you say both those things? Like, I know most people, like Raheem has a model, and most people have models, might even have the Eagles by 3 at this point. And so, but can you also say, but I think it's going to be a close game? Because if you're going to lean model and Eagles and you think it's going to be a close game, how dare you go against Mahomes in a close game?
Right, then the Chiefs should win the 4th game of a close game. I guess more like, I don't think it's going to be a blowout. Like, I don't think either of these teams is blowing out the other team. Could one of them win by 10 points, 12? Sure. Right. But it feels like it's going to be a relatively close game, no blowout. And I just think the Eagles should be favored by like 2.5 on a neutral field.
Yeah.
They have more good players all over the place. They have an easier way to win than the Chiefs do. And you go back and you look at, as great as the Chiefs were, the fact that they were 17-2 thrown week 18, they're basically 17-1 you throw week 18. But it just was harder for them week to week. Then when you watch this Eagles team, just seems to be really cruel. I mean, the Eagles have won 15 of the last 16 pretty easily.
Right. So you're taking the Eagles. That's okay.
I'm leaning toward the Eagles, and I'm just afraid to go against Mahomes, which is why the line is where the line is. That's why that's the whole point of this line, is nobody wants to bet against the Chiefs.
I wouldn't look into the line too much. By the way, I'm going to pretend to get texts from NFL GMs during this pod. I felt that was very effective with Russillo last night with the NBA guys.
It's a great wrinkle for him. Yeah.
All right. But
the Memphis GM.
But I would disregard the line because I do have facts here. In the first 58 Super Bowls, only 7 times as a favorite won and not covered. It happened with the Rams, Bengals most recently.
Right.
It happened twice in the last 17 years. So take KC -1.5 or take Philly money line. You'll probably be okay, right?
That's a playoff manifesto staple, especially at this time. You're just betting who you think's going to win. Don't worry about the line.
Yeah. So that's what I'll say about that. But I think you're right. It might be off, but I also think it doesn't matter because of that fact I just laid out.
Well, it matters for teasers and stuff.
Yeah.
Sure. You can get Philly above 7. Pretty tasty. All right. So every year, and we've been doing this forever, I actually researched this. We were the first 2 people ever to like Super Bowl props.
Yo, you researched it, really?
In the media, yeah. We were the first ones. I don't think a lot of people were.
Good.
Nobody ever talked about Super Bowl props.
It's true.
We felt like we were really going on a limb. We did a pod at maybe the 2007 Super Bowl, and we floated some props, and everybody in the world was like, what are these? What are these guys talking about? No, all these years later, it's a cottage industry. I don't feel like we get the credit. There'd never been a Super Bowl prop before we did a podcast.
I love it. We willed it into
as far as we know.
They actually didn't even exist. Like first touchdown? What are these guys talking about?
We started everything.
You couldn't find it. You couldn't even bet it. So eventually we forced the books to actually come up with these. Yeah,
that's actually not true, obviously. And the first time we watched the Super Bowl together, when it was the first day Jimmy Kimmel was doing a show, and we were in charge of monitoring the Tampa Bay Oakland game,
right,
and coming up with jokes. And we were in a van, and you had this whole printout sheet of Super Bowl props that was like 58 pages. And we're just going through, and there would be silence. You'd be like, hey, Simmons, what about Rich Gannon over under completions? And that was just the whole ride. So we've loved this forever.
That was a great find when you had to sort through. The internet wasn't what it is now. And if you could find a PDF where you could print all the props,
right,
and it'd send your printer into a tizzy, it'd be like 25 pages.
Yeah, because it'd be all the HTML would be off. It would be like the margins would be too small.
Yeah.
You'd have like these little crazy, beautiful mind notes on each page. Now we just go to FanDuel and there's all these hyperlinks.
Come along,
beautifully separated. Yeah. It's great. Can we start with MVP?
Yeah.
Because there's a couple. Mahomes is +110, Barkley's +280, Hurts is +370. And the most interesting one was the field versus Mahomes is -150. And we always look at this and we always like it. But if you think KC's not going to win, this feels like a fun MVP bet because you basically get everybody else.
Yeah, that's
true. I don't know if you
true.
could parlay it with other stuff.
I didn't look at it that way. That is good. And I was thinking, though, so we have to get in their heads, right? Is there Mahomes fatigue if the Chiefs win for MVP? Like, he didn't have a great game against Philly.
No.
It was against Philly? No, the last game. So he stayed under 200 yards, but had 3 touchdowns, and they had to give it to him, right? So I'm trying to write a script for how Mahomes doesn't get MVP if the Chiefs win. Is it Kelsey announces Thursday that he's going to retire after this game, and he gets 2
Xavier
touchdowns?
Worthy, like 8 for 120. Yeah. There's that like Julian Edelman type of game that's sitting there. There's like the big Kelsey game. I don't know if the way they use their running backs, I don't see how either running back would be in it.
Right.
So you're looking at a crazy Worthy game, a crazy Kelsey game, or Mahomes if KC wins.
The funny thing is,
+110 is nice.
You talk about how how we've come such a far way, however you say that. You could live bet the MVP, right? And remember, like Kadarius Toney was like a punchline now. He had like a big game. He had a big punt return and a touchdown. Like, oh man, but Mahomes was still favored. I remember looking at that. Like, so there's something to look at that. I think choosing between Barkley and Hurts is really tough if you're taking the Eagles. I might just rather take the Eagles. I did look at defensive MVP is +1,500. Once the game gets to the 40s, you're kind of cooked, but 9 out of 57 defensive players have won. And so that's like 1 out of 6 or 1 out of 7, and you're getting 15-1. It's not bad.
The problem with taking the field versus Mahomes, I guess you get everyone on the Chiefs too with that -150. So it's a parlay of the Eagles side, which you could just bet straight up for +110, but then you're covered on every other non-Mahomes thing.
Right.
But I think the best value is Barkley at plus 280 because I think if they win, I think he's going to be the best player in the game. Would be my assumption. Like he gashes them a couple times. He's been the best part of the playoffs. It's a narrative that makes sense to me, and I thought the odds were pretty good. What would the Hurts game have to be for MVP? So he's throwing 2 touchdowns, probably one deep one. He's probably 20 for 27 for 255. He probably has one long run of like a 40-yard run. Maybe he's like 7 for 52 running. And he's just, it's something like that, right?
I think you're right. But plus it's Barkley's birthday, on the Super Bowl. So I don't know how much that factors in. Yeah. Turns 28. Is that what it is? And plus, if it's plus 280 and he turns 28, am I wrong to say he's 28? That's pretty good numbers. But I think you're right. I don't know if Hurts getting the touchdowns on the tush push, if he gets like 3 of those and puts up good yards, if that's going to put him over the top. But it's been Barkley's year. I think that's probably the case for Barkley. Yeah. Plus 280 is still good if it's close to 3.
The Barkley bets that jumped out. So I've never monitored this, but there was a 25 plus rushing yards each quarter for plus 750.
Yeah.
That I've never bet on, and I have no idea if that's a good bet or not. It seems terrible. 2 touchdowns is plus 280. So you'd probably have to break one of those, then maybe get one around 5 or 6. I thought the odds were pretty good. There was one where him and Kareem Hunt, 200 plus rush yards is 3-1. So you figure if he got over like 130, 140, if you thought Hunt was going to be in the 50s, 60s, that could get there. 3-1's nice. But I think the one I like the most is 169 plus rushing yards, which would be a new record, is 5-1. So you can just bet on that. And basically the bet is, I bet that Saquon Barkley will break the record. 169, boom, 5-1.
It's pretty good. Yeah. I was looking at, you said Barkley 2+ touchdowns is plus 270. So that's the same.
It's
280?
It's plus 280. Yeah.
So that's the same odds as his MVP, right?
Right. So you just take that instead?
That's interesting. I think I might want to take that instead. I don't think there's a game where
so
he's
you like that one the most.
Touchdown.
Do you have any other Barkley bets?
Yeah, well, it's funny. You said that actually this one was just texted me from Les Snead of the Rams GM. He said Kelsey 25 or more receiving yards in each half is a good number there. So that happened already this year. And if that,
what's the odds on that?
So it's 307 yards over the last 3 Super Bowls. So I kind of like that. And that already hit against the Texans this year. So,
okay.
Yeah.
So I had the Barkley one, the Hurts stuff. There's an anytime TD for him for minus 115. And that's just one tush push, right? If it's first and goal from the 2, third and goal from the 1. I got to say, I was surprised that was the line. I thought that was going to be like minus 140. It's almost like surprising if he doesn't get one. That one jump out to you?
Yeah, we go crazy about it on the Ringer pregame show. And I don't know if there's like a million props, so they'll throw in one you can win on automatically there, but it's so easy there. It's minus 110 or right in there. 10 of the last 13 games he scored a touchdown. So should that be almost even odds? And they have a play designed for it. So it's almost suspicious. Here's another one that goes along with it. Shortest touchdown under minus 1.5 yards. Remember, we used to love this one. Right?
Oh, wow. We bet that a bunch of times. Yeah.
So the VIG is a little high. It's minus 172. But we loved it before the tush push. And now it's like, it was he did it twice last matchup, twice versus San Francisco. First time, 4 of the 5 in the Super Bowl. 7 of the last 9 Super Bowls have seen shortest touchdown under 1.5 yards.
What are the odds on that?
It's minus 172. It's not great. So you might just want to take Hurts for the touchdown, minus 110. But for 7 of the last 9 Super Bowls, it didn't hit last year, so that's why I like it especially now. I really like that.
So FanDuel have that anytime touchdown that like either first one or last one of the game that they're putting a pretty big thing on that you could get in. If it's an anytime TD bet and it ends up being the first touchdown in the game, you end up in this bonus bets pool. If it's the last touchdown of the game, same thing. And I think Hurts was my favorite anytime touchdown bet. I bet that goes up. I think that's going to be like minus 135 by game time. Two other things with him. Longest run was 11 and a half yards. And it feels like every game they have that one run where it's like the delayed QB draw and he's running to the right or the left and he just goes for like 30 yards. And I can't believe that wouldn't happen in this game once. So 11 and a half I really liked. And then longest pass of the game for him, 32 and a half yards. So, and this ties into some AJ Brown stats too, but when you look at the Chiefs, so they gave up against Buffalo, they gave up a 34-yarder, a 24-yarder, and a 23-yarder. Against Houston, they give up a 34-yarder, a 24-yarder, and a 24-yarder. So they do give up big plays when you watch, where it's like that bend but don't break, but you can bust one on them. So I was thinking I like that one too. The just longest one, 33-yard pass to somebody. AJ Brown, Devonta Smith. Maybe it's Goddard. Maybe Barkley on a wheel route. Don't you think they'll bust one?
Yeah, I like that a lot. I mean, I love Spagnuolo's defense, but it does, it takes a minute to settle in sometimes. And I think you could break a tackle or something in there. That's a good one.
What'd you feel about passing yards? There's two. There's 210.5 is the over-under for Hurts. You could go 175 plus passing yards for him as minus 310. I think they're too goofy. I almost feel like the total pass yards is a stay away for him because we've seen games where they just run the ball all the time. We've also seen games where they vary it out. It doesn't make sense to me.
Yeah, so I think you have to script it out in your head, right? Because for a lot of these last games, he was winning with 154 yards passing, right?
Yeah.
And then last week, he kind of surprised us. He's throwing on 3rd and 6. We're like, what are you doing? You have a 4th and 1 play that never fails. Why are you throwing on 3rd and 6?
Right.
And he would complete it to Devonta Smith and AJ Brown. They had big games. So what do you feel? Do you feel like they're going to play catch up? If you feel like they're going to have to play catch up at some point, or that, hey, it's a Super Bowl, just scoring just gets out of hand, then I think you go over. But otherwise, if you're pro Barkley on everything, I mean, his 3+ touchdowns Hurts is 36-1. Barkley's 3+ touchdowns is 15-1. So you can have fun with those too.
So out of those Barkley Hurts, what's your favorite one? I think I like the rush yard record for +5-1 on Barkley just for the hell of it. I like your 2 touchdowns, and I like the anytime TD and the longest pass, longest run for Hurts. I feel like you at least split those.
Yeah. I also like Saquon or Hurts to have 2 or more touchdowns at +170. I was banging my head against the desk trying to figure out which of these two is going to get 2 or more. And then FanDuel has a spot for it where either they have an either or guy thing. Saquon or Hurts, 2+ touchdowns +170. You're almost definitely.
Oh wow, those are way better odds than the Barkley +280.
Yeah, you're gonna be one away at halftime, right? You're just gonna need some luck to push it over the top.
Too bad you can't hedge that. AJ Brown, I didn't really have any stuff I like for him. Some of the stuff isn't out yet. That usually comes Wednesday, Thursday, like the completion bets and things like that.
Right.
But AJ Brown just seems hit or miss to me. I'm staying away. Any other Eagles bets that you're fired up about?
I like Devonta Smith. I think they have for Eagles not too much, 70+ for him is +205, 80+ is +320. So if you get that long play in there and you think it's going to be him, we haven't done Chiefs yet, right? You're going in order of the okay. Yeah, so that's really it. And I also kicker prop here, Elliott over 7.5. You think to yourself, oh, this team's always going on 4th and 1. They don't have, they're not going to kick. He's gone 7 straight games where he's had 7.5 or more points, and he had 9 in the Super Bowl. So the tush push doesn't really factor into their scoring chances with Jake Elliott.
So what are the odds on the 7.5?
It's just even odds. Yeah, -110.
Yeah, because one of the bets that's not out yet is the missed field goal thing for him because he's always feels like he has one at some point. All right, so on the Chiefs side, some Mahomes bets that jumped out to me. Over 29.5 rush yards. Just too many times with his legs. If you look at the biggest games he's played, the completions, the carries are more exciting to me. 5.5 carries, because you get that 29.5 rush yards.
Yep.
You have the potential of the Neal's not going to back. Yep. The carries are the carries. That's -140, so there's some
and
juice.
Neal's help you with the carries, yeah.
This year, he was 11 for 43 against Buffalo. He was 7 for 14 against Houston, including the 3 nails at the end. In 2023, 9 for 66 against San Fran, 6 for 15 against Baltimore, and 6 for 19 against Buffalo. So the last 5 times he's had 6 or more. And then if you look at the Super Bowls, the other Super Bowls, the Philly won 6 for 44, the Tampa won 5 for 33, San Francisco 9 for 29. So the only time he didn't get 5.5 out of 8 of the biggest games of his career and all the Super Bowls is that one Tampa game when he had 5, not 6.
Right.
So to me, over carries minus 140. I'm putting the juice on. I'm doing it.
I like that a lot. He infamously went under in yards when he had that eclipse, right, against San Francisco in the Super Bowl when he started taking kneels. I like, much like you do, it hurts. I like over 11.5 longest rush for Mahomes. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5 games, averaging 13 for a longest over that stretch. So, I think that's how you play Mahomes.
Maybe do both of them.
Yeah, I'd be a little nervous about the actual yardage, but.
So the other one, if you want to do a yardage bet, I would recommend the 40-plus rush yards for Mahomes. That's plus 180. And again, 43 against Buffalo, 66 against San Francisco, 44 against Philly. So he's done it a few times. You're basically getting 2-to-1 odds. But I think he's going to need to do it in this game because Philly's, the way they're going to probably play defense on him, they have those 4 guys. They play everybody else back. They fake blitz. They do all these different things. But if you're just rushing those 4, he can just slide out and over again find these pockets.
Yeah,
so
I like that.
I like him with his legs in this game. And he's healthy, too. We know he's healthy.
He's healthy. He's also, there's a stat for him or a bet for him under 2.5 sacks that he takes. He's hit this in 4 of his last 5. He knows when to take off. He's just the smartest there is.
Yeah.
So
Mahomes under 2.5 sacks. That's a good one. Because if he's over 2.5 sacks, KC's probably not winning.
Right.
So Kareem Hunt is somebody that really fascinates me. Anytime touchdown for him is plus 135. He scored in the last 4 games. 2 touchdowns for him is plus 950. And the reason I mention it is because Mahomes, they don't run sneaks with him. So unless Mahomes scores from like the 4-yard line or the 7, like when it's around the goal line, they go with running backs. His 50-plus yards is plus 115 for rushing. 70-plus yards is plus 320. Most rushing yards in a game, if you like KC, is 7-1 for Hunt. But I was looking back at the Houston game and then especially the Buffalo game. He was 17 for 64 in that Buffalo game, and they threw to him once. Pacheco was 5 for 12. I think the Eagles are big. Pacheco's like a little guy. I actually think Hunt's going to be the guy for them in this game, and I feel like it's gravitating toward them anyway, or for that anyway. When the bigger the moment it is, it just seems like they like having Hunt out there. So I kind of like all the Hunt bets.
Yeah, he's their tush push, right? Like he's a wrecking ball at the 1 or 2 yard line. So they give it to him. He goes in. Pacheco, I would only take his like receiving props. Right. I don't think they trust him. I don't trust him as a running back. Over 4.5 longest reception for Pacheco's hit 13 of the last 17. He averages like 9 over that stretch. But let me throw this by you. I'm putting a little on Mahomes for first touchdown at 18-1. I know because he got injured, they don't do the tush push. A little talked about play, it should be spoken about more, is when he rushed to the line of scrimmage against Buffalo and did that end around, that bootleg to get the first down. I think Andy Reid wants to have an FU moment here, whether it's a Philly special or something. I think I could see him wanting Mahomes to score from the 1. I don't know if it's early on or late in the game, but you might get a sneak. I mean, I don't know why. Is he more likely to get injured? I know he got injured on the sneak years ago, but
they've just never run it since he got hurt.
Right.
Along those lines, there was a Chiefs prop I liked. It was over 4.5 guys that rush the ball. And this basically goes down to P. Ryan. If P. Ryan if he runs the ball, they get to 5 because Worthy has at least 1 carry every game. Hunt and Pacheco, Mahomes is going to run. So you're basically betting on P. Ryan. P. Ryan has no runs in the playoffs. And the Chiefs always zag when they get to the Super Bowl. So I wonder, is there like the one, it's like 3rd and 9. Oh my God, it's a draw play to P. Ryan. But I like the 4.5 over.
I did it's going to come down to like a stupid replay because Mahomes, you might get P. Ryan, but it could be just like a little flip play where it counts as a pass.
Oh, then it seems like that would suck. The Mahomes stuff, I love the stuff with his legs. The Hunt stuff, I think he's going to actually be pretty prominently involved. The guy that I can't get a handle on is Kelsey, who's you just figure the yards for all of his props are 5 yards higher than they should be because he's the most public prop bet there is. Mm-hmm. You can do 80 plus yards for him is plus 235, 7 plus receptions is plus 135, and then there's that 25 plus yards each half. 2 to 1. To me, he's a stay away. I didn't like how he disappeared in that last game. No Nakobe Dean. So maybe that's a way for him to, but I just feel like they're going to take him out.
Yeah, I'm torn here because maybe they stole enough money from us in the AFC Championship game because we all bet Kelsey props, right? So maybe that's okay. So maybe he comes back, and we know I gave you his Super Bowl numbers, right? Like 307, I think in 3 games. But there's another way to do this. I'm looking at Noah Gray for a long of 10 or more yards because the Eagles weren't great against the tight ends, right? What was it? It was Zach Ertz went for 110. They have like 10 catches or something last week, something crazy. Right. Noah Gray's 10 or more for a long. He's hitting 12 of the last 17. So
what are the odds on that?
I mean, it's just even up. But that could be something
that's a good one. They go to him a lot too.
Yeah,
I like that one. So you agree that Kelsey's a stay?
Yeah, I think the yards is just tough with him. I would do the first half, second half. That's it.
Game props. My favorite ones. Both teams get a 4th down conversion is minus 124. I can't remember the last NFL game I watched where both teams didn't get a 4th down. The Eagles seem to get at least one every game. Minus 124 seems like a layup. And I
had this written down. They've gotten a 4th down conversion in every playoff game this year, both teams. So that's 5-0, and they're 70% plus on the year, and that's top 3 in the league. So great.
There's another one that I wouldn't recommend, but I thought was interesting just because I thought the odds would have been like better for the better. 4th down conversion in your own territory, minus 114.
Oh, wow.
Like, why is that like plus 160?
Oh, wow.
It's so rare to go in your own territory. But if that's minus 114, then why wouldn't I just bet on both teams to get a 4th down conversion?
Right.
That's
the way to do it. Yeah.
So successful 2-point conversion, a bet that I think we've done the last couple of years, and the odds still haven't shifted enough on it. It's plus 175. It feels like we have one every year.
I looked at it and it felt like it, but it's not. It's not case.
True.
No, it's not.
I tested that.
Yeah, I mean, look at the scores. They're all like 20. I think you need a guy. You need a kicker probably to miss at some point and some weird shit to happen. But are you looking for both teams or one team? You said one team converts? Or
just
both?
Says any successful 2-point conversion is my plus 175.
Yeah. All right. So I think you need like 5 touchdowns. And one of them is a 2-point conversion.
Maybe it's a stay away. How about a 60-yard reception for either team? Plus 435. 60-yard plus. That's like one Worthy down the sideline or one A.J. Brown. I wanted the odds to be better for that.
Seems like a Super Bowl play, maybe, yeah.
And then this is one of my favorites. Philly wins the time of possession. Minus 128. I went back and looked, and they've won like almost every week, it feels like. And if you think they're going to win the game, then they're going to win the time possession. I had the LA at 7.5 points as well. Did you have Jalen Carter over 3.5 tackles and assists for plus 120?
I did write that down. Yeah. I mean,
guy's a fucking maniac. How is he not going to get 4 tackles and assists?
Yeah. I had DeJean over 1.5 assists. He's hit this in 5 straight. And I had Quinion Mitchell under a half of assist. He's 5 out of 6 if you go under there. By the way, I did have, Kelsey. This could be a good Kelsey one. Now, of course, I lost it. Do you
remember what it was?
Kelsey first catch for Kansas City, plus 230. Last 2 Super Bowls, he's had the first catch.
What was it, plus 230?
Plus 230. Last 2 Super Bowls, they had a 1-yard catch and a 20-yard catch.
My favorite prop.
Yeah.
And then we're going to take a break, and then you're going to go through all your crazy props.
All right.
Chris Jones sack.
Ooh.
Plus 136. So what do we know? What have we seen from the Eagles? Hurts will go back, and if it's not there, he holds it on too long. We see guys go up the middle and get him. and it seems to happen twice a game. That's exactly what Chris Jones was put on the earth to do, is to push the line back, and every once in a while he gets to the guy. And I just was surprised. I thought that was going to be, I don't know, even odds. Plus 136 seems
pretty
like
good.
Just free value.
I like that. When they're switching in centers during the game, and that means you can't really double team a Chris Jones. So it's pretty good. I'll have more to say about that, a bigger moment. But yes, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah.
All right. So those were all mine. All right, cuz you have the floor. Rip through your bets, and then we'll do Gary Russell.
Let's do it. Any quarter to end 0-0 plus 310. This has happened 25% of the games, like 14 times. Like I think 4 of the last 9, the first quarters ended 0-0. I love the zeros everywhere. You can go on FanDuel and buy your squares now, right? You don't have to get stuck with 2-5 at some shitty Super Bowl party and pretend you have a chance and do the math all day with a girl who's selling Girl Scout cookies. Someone's great niece ends up winning it without paying attention anymore.
Or Daniel buying 4 squares and then 3 other squares for little kids and then just winning it.
Yeah. They haven't looked at the screen at once. So I love that you could buy your own squares. KC 7-0 is plus 650. Philly 7-0 first quarter is plus 650. I'd take a chance on
plus
those.
650?
Yeah, for first quarter. Yep.
What is there a 7-3?
Of course. Yeah. 7, 3, zeros. Mix them all up. Have some fun. There's one freaking
that
game
looks
left.
great. That sounds way more fun than being in a pool.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
Do it up. I would think you would like this. The Triple Crown bets. These are like the anchor bets you and House were doing, right?
I couldn't land on the right one for the right odds. I was looking at you. So you can bet Mahomes throws for the most pass.
Good.
Barkley does the most rushing. And
Easy.
then, I'll get nuts with Xavier Worthy as most receiving. And that's my threesome.
Plus 650 right there.
Yeah.
But if you anchor the two, if you could be at peace with the fact that Mahomes is going to have more passing yards, not a certainty, but, just live with it. And Barkley would be the rushing yard leader. Then put Worthy in, then put A.J. Brown in, then put Devontae Smith in. You can have like a nice little, 3 or 4 bets there. Pay
so you're
6,
saying
8, 10 to 1.
So you're saying just do a whole bunch of them?
Yeah.
Like do your
I'm saying
Mahomes.
That for everything, man. We
it's
got
just
one
like
game left.
Pick 2 or 3.
Yeah, exactly.
And then we have
Mahomes
Luka
doesn't
Doncic on the Lakers to bet on. Like we're fine.
Yeah, we're good.
The NBA is here to save you. Crazy bets.
Luka first Ozempic shot, plus 160 on Monday. I don't know how that happened.
Luka first gluten-free diet consultation.
He's going to be like the Jonah Hill after, because it's going to be such a practical joke.
I mean, being in a really nice sunny city does have a way of making you feel bad when you're, when you're pulling over the t-shirt and it's a little tight because you're about to walk around.
Not me, but him. Yeah, you should. Yeah. All right, we got to do the Sal special. Eagles first half, Chiefs game plus 750. It hit the last 2 years.
Wow.
Chiefs were trailing at halftime against the Niners.
What a great one.
Yeah, and the Eagles. So plus 750. And if you want to go the other way, Chiefs first half, Eagles game, plus 800. So a tie does not help you at half.
First half, Chiefs game, plus 750. I mean, I could actually see that happening. I would have thought that would have been like plus 500.
Yeah, that's the one.
Great one, Chris.
All right.
Cousin Sal special. FanDuel should fucking give that to you. They should name that officially the Cousin Sal special. People should know what it is.
Thank you. Both teams complete the first pass, minus 120. This one I got from GM John Schneider, just texted me for the Seattle Seahawks. Who got me. So, both teams first pass.
First completion, both teams.
This has hit 4 in a row. All 4, 5, 6 1-yard passes. These guys don't screw around. I don't know. I don't see them going for the home run ball early on, right?
So this is like 2nd and 7. Let's throw the quick out to Noah Gray for 4. Let's hit Goddard really quick. Little shovel pass. Just let's keep the clock moving.
Confidence builder. Only minus 120.
I really like that one.
Not great, but still. Exact scores. This is fun too. KC to score exactly 30 is 17-1, 27 is 11-1, 24 is 10-1. 5 times this year, it's hit on those 3 numbers. For the Eagles, 28, 27, and 26. You get 22-1, 11-1, 23-1. 5 times those numbers have hit.
Feels
Live
like
it
roulette.
up, man. Live it up. Let's see. What else do I want to do? Oh, here's something interesting. So they have the playoff leaders, right? So up until like wild
I
card.
saw that. So who's the guy who's still winning for receivers?
De'Ami Brown.
Yeah.
229 yards. He's plus 360. I think he could hold on. I think this is where he shines. I think he shines next Sunday by not being in the game. He is, Goddard has 188. So if you don't think Goddard will have 46, you're good there. Kelsey has 136. He would need, 90 something. And Worthy has 130. I just think plus 360 for the leader at this point might be a decent way to go.
I almost wonder if the move is to bet the over on Goddard, but then you also bet the De'Ami Brown bet, and you can hedge it either way, right?
See, you're smarter than I am with that.
Playoff leaders, that's such a fun one. I can't believe. So Goddard's the favorite at minus 125. De'Ami Brown is plus 280.
Oh, it's 280 now?
And then Worthy's 10-1. It keeps going.
Yeah. Well, if you think that 60-yarder to Worthy's coming, maybe that's the way to do it. But all right. Braden Mann, Eagles punter, under 55.5 longest punt, only over 55 4 times all regular season. Who knows if he'll even punt, right? He had 2 against Washington.
That's a weird one. That's a long punt. Like that would almost have to bounce because the guy didn't pick it up.
Yeah, I got that.
That's
from
one of those that
Kwesi Adolfo-Mensah, the Vikings GM, sent me that one.
That almost would make me nervous that line is so high. Like FanDuel knows something.
Oh, really?
55.5 seems like it's like a giant punt.
Yeah. It is a lot. All right. Jersey number for the first touchdown, over 15.5. You lose the quarterbacks, but you get almost every defensive player. You get Barkley, you get Goddard, you get Kelsey, you get Hunt, you get Peyton Hendershot. I love it. Over 15.5. Even odds for that.
Even odds?
Yeah. Well, they have to have a number. They put it right at the Kelsey line there, 15.
Yeah, but there's got to be some other player that's under 15. Devonta Smith is under 15.
No, Hurts is under. Both quarterbacks, yeah.
Devonta Smith.
Yes.
He's number 6.
A.J. Brown. Yeah. Yeah.
And A.J. Brown's number 11. Yeah,
I just like having Barkley and Kelsey on for almost even.
And Noah Gray.
Yeah, and my guy Noah Gray. All right, let's see. What else do we have here? They have next gen stats.
Yeah.
Which are great. Did you see? I don't even know how they would do this because Worthy to register fastest is plus 285. And he is the fastest. But so what if it's like an 8-yard catch? Do they really just measure how fast? He wouldn't be able to get speed probably in that spot. So you're basically betting that he's going to have the longest play at plus 285.
It seems like fast. It would have to be a pass that's at least 25 yards. Right. Mm-hmm. Or a run that's at least 25 yards. So the guy can get the full head of steam.
Right.
So that's why Barkley's the favorite for that one.
So he's supposed to have the longest play. It's that simple. Yeah.
I'm going to bet on Travis Kelsey. I just feel like he's looking fast lately. Just seems like no, I would bet on Worthy on that in the 3-1 odds and then hope that he gets
you
lucky.
Could bet. I mean, it's crazy. Imagine Jimmy the Greek looking at this. Like you could have Worthy at 18.5 miles per hour. Like that's minus 172 to do that.
Jimmy the Greek would probably end up saying something racist about the bet and make everyone uncomfortable.
Position first touchdown. What would you say? Which would you go with?
Probably running back.
Running backs plus
tight end would intrigue me though, because you have Kelsey, Gray, and Goddard.
Tight end's plus 420. It's not bad. That's what I was looking at there. Yeah.
Tight end plus 420 first touchdown. I like that.
Right.
One.
I think it's still 420. We were talking about the FU moment for Reed against the Eagles. I know he's played him ready. Any quarterback to receive a touchdown, 70-1. A lineman to score, 18-1. A quarterback, either quarterback catches a pass is 21 to 1. That's pretty good. I know these things don't happen a ton, but this is it. There's your last chance to use the trick play for the year, right?
Yeah, I can't see KC doing it with Mahomes. So it basically come down to Jalen Hurts. And then if you're Sirianni, do you want to rip off the Philly special or a play like that? And then it doesn't work. You're like, oh, look at fucking Sirianni trying to do the Philly special.
But that by the goal line, right. Yeah, but maybe
the 21-1 just to catch a pass could be interesting.
Right. Then you get the stupid stuff. I mean, I'm going purple Gatorade. It's gone down already. It was plus 240.
Oh, there's been action.
You could bet it on FanDuel now, which is a freaking miracle. Purple's down to 2-1. It was purple the last 2 years. The Chiefs won the last 2 years. It was purple. Why would they screw with a good thing? Purple has a chance to catch orange as the high. Got orange is 5, purple is 4 of all the Super Bowls. We got the Kobe thing. It's been 5 years since Kobe's gone. You could go purple there if you're the Eagles. I think let's just talk about Kendrick Lamar has like an Easter thing going. Maybe it's in his rider that there has to be purple Gatorade. I don't know. Purple 2-1 seems like a good.
I could probably get inside info on that. There's some sort of purple something. There's too much action on purple. maybe it's that Luka went to the Lakers. Now it's like a whole purple week.
Oh yeah, that's the other thing. Yeah, this is going to be.
Hold on,
first.
I'm going to throw up again.
You don't like that?
No, just Luka going to the Lakers. It makes me physically ill.
Yeah.
They're like, oh my God, he's lost 25 pounds and LeBron has him using the VersaClimber. It's like, cool. Nobody's going to win the title now for the next 7 years.
Listen, no one was more surprised than LeBron. He found out, what was he getting? Like a bacon wrapped hot dog in New York after the Knicks game. He had nothing to do with this at all.
Nothing. He had no idea.
That's good. No.
Had no idea. Completely shocked.
I'd like to see Big Dom get involved in this Gatorade scandal. Doesn't it seem like something like Big Dom switches it out and some mobsters hit big on this prop? I think that's how this one's going down. John Batiste anthem. This one you might not be able to find on FanDuel. 120 and a half seconds. He did a minute 35, which is 95 seconds at the NBA All-Star game in 2017. Does he show off 30 seconds worth?
How many? 120 seconds? That seems like a lot.
It's 2 minutes. So it's been under 2 minutes in 5 of the last 6 years.
I'll never forget when Louis K gave us the inside info and risked his job so we could win that prop. Is Louis going to be at this thing again?
Did we win?
Yeah, we won because he told us what was going to happen. He was in the building.
Yeah.
It's like the best inside info. I had the flip side of it, though. Nick Khan, my friend Nick Khan, who runs WWE. Right. We saw his son at UFC a few weeks ago, and we were talking Royal Rumble. Mm-hmm. And his son, Sonny, who's a great kid. And it's like, Sonny, what's going to happen in the Rumble? And he goes, John Cena's going to win the Royal Rumble, and then he's going to wrestle Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania.
Oh, no.
And we were like, holy shit. And then so John Cena was one of the last two, and then he lost.
Right.
So Sonny swerved us. He's learning from the best. Thank God.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. If you can't trust WWE,
if I can't trust a 9-year-old son of the guy who runs WWE, who can I trust?
Come on, Nick. Nick's patting his son on the head right now.
He's like, great job. Good job, son. You did it again.
Well, I'm trying to figure out. 2 or more diss tracks from Kendrick Lamar regarding Drake is minus 400.
Wow. Well, he's definitely playing Not Like Us.
Right.
So then they would have to, maybe does a medley count? What if it's a medley with like 4 songs in it?
Yeah, they have to, because everything's a medley now. They don't really stop down for new songs. And then there's dumb shit. There's Taylor Swift to announce pregnancy during or after Super Bowl 16-1. Will he propose Travis after at 8-1? We might just have to do that so that you don't throw up again.
Can we talk about the proposal? Because why is that still lingering in such a real way? Makes you almost think it's going to happen after the game. If the NFL was scripted, the Chiefs would win and then he would propose.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. So 8-1 seems high.
Right. And he didn't go to the Grammys, which is going on right now as we're
also, that's a better bet than Chiefs money line because he's not going to propose if they lose.
That's
true. He's only proposing if they win. It's like,
right.
The Chiefs have lost by 10. Hold on. Let's go to the field where Travis Kelce has a special announcement.
Right.
It has to be a win.
Chiefs are going to try harder if they know he has plans to propose. I don't know. It gets so confusing.
Probably not.
Do you know Metro Boomin?
What about him?
He's the first celebrity on stage. It's plus 125. He's the favorite.
Not Tommy Alter?
Tommy's fourth.
I had Tommy Alter. That's my number one.
I'm trying to think. That might be it. Before we get to the good stuff there.
What are the odds of me being in New Orleans? Did those come out on FanDuel?
Go. What do? You have another NBA thing this week or something?
I don't know. There might be more trades. I don't know.
Oh, that's right. You got to stick around for these dumb trades.
As you know, because you've seen it, New Orleans is terrible for me.
Yeah, it's not fun for you.
I can't handle it. I can't handle it. So that doesn't mean I'm not going to go, but I know that it's a bad city for me.
Yeah. Well, the bad thing is, like, you could not even be looking for trouble and get food poisoning from Roy oysters. How do you say that?
Yeah, it's Roy Oysters.
You know Roy Oysters.
Roy Oysters is a new stand-up comedian. He's touring with Jeff Ross. Bill
He's going to be the first diss track. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So the quick setup for Gary Russell. This was a million years ago. We were doing a Super Bowl props, but right around when we invented Super Bowl props in the 2000s. And you did the Gary Russell bet. You had this big bet. You were all excited about it. I thought it was going to be like Ben Roethlisberger, 280 yards or whatever it was.
Mm-hmm.
Nope. This was Cardinals Steelers Super Bowl. And your big thing was Gary Russell. What was it? He would
to not score a touchdown.
To not score a touchdown. You had studied it, researched it. And
it was minus 150. He had like 2 touchdowns all year. I was like, why is this only minus 150? Yeah.
So he scores in the first quarter. And I think we were watching the Super Bowl together and we're just dying laughing. And then we get this email from somebody who said they were at a Super Bowl party. It was a male and a female. They both started laughing. They didn't know who each other were. They were like, do you listen to the BS Report? And they ended up getting married. So the Gary Russell pod has led to, this pick has led to a marriage.
It's led to a marriage. It's led to almost bankruptcy for me. I'm not very good at it. Now I pick an underachieving, no-name player to have a reception or a carry. I hit with
the
like
concept
Henry
is
Hanowski.
it's the least sexy prop you can bet, but you're adamantly, Hank Kronowski was the best one, I think.
That was good. I took your Patriots tight end once, that Michael Humanawali.
Oh, yeah. That one hit. Yeah, Michael Humanawali.
But honestly, I don't think I've hit since Fozzie Whitaker. I feel like the Chiefs and Eagles have ruined the Gary Russell special because we kind of know all the third and fourth stringers, right? Like I'm not going to go with Kenneth Gainwell or Jahan Dotson or you said Samaje P. Ryan for the Chiefs. Otherwise, we know the top 6 receivers. So I had to dig deep. And here's what I ended up with.
I was never going to count you out. I knew you would find something. You weren't going to quit on Gary Russell.
No, I can't quit on Gary Russell. I can't believe we haven't heard from that couple. They must have split early on if that's actually how they met.
Yeah, maybe that's like a sad story now.
It's a sad story.
Divorce. The guy's living with his parents.
Please reach out to us if that's the case. All right, you ready?
Yeah.
Chiefs defensive lineman Mike Dana to record a sack at plus 235 is the Gary Russell special of 2025. Hear me out. 27-year-old, 5th round pick out of Michigan.
Yeah.
He's on the postseason roster, had a good game against the Bills. He had a sack.
He did. His name was mentioned a couple times.
He had a sack, and now it's going to be mentioned again and again and again. He had 6.5 sacks last year. He had 5 in 22. He had 2 at Philly in 2021. He's one of those guys, Simmons, you talk about who was like really good in high school, and then some scouts saw that, and he was really good in college, and then he ended up being a pro.
Oh, my theory.
Yes.
Yeah, when a guy is really good, high school, college, and then the pros.
Yeah, they get recognized. Yeah, your Derrick Henry theory. 4 tackles, a sack, 2 quarterback hits, a forced fumble against the Bills. Madden gives him an 85 acceleration and 90 tackling ability. Mike Dana, go get it. My Gary Russell special dude of 2025, a sack plus 235.
Grew up in Michigan. Played at Central Michigan University and the University of Michigan.
Yep.
5th round draft pick. 6'1.5", 251.
Oh, stud.
He's won 2 Super Bowls. Re-signed with the Chiefs on a 3-year, $24 million deal in April 2024. He's not chopped liver, that Mike Dana.
Yeah. No way.
Mike Dana. Great one.
There we go.
All right, that's our Super Bowl prop stuff. So you're doing a whole bunch of stuff this week. You're going to New Orleans. We're going to be doing a bunch of content, and eventually we'll give your pick.